Hey, so this might be the most disturbing thing that I've read in AI this year. Multiple research groups have been working on creating AI that is capable of not just experiencing pain, but experiencing empathy. Now, this is not the kind of pain that I've talked about before, used in operant conditioning for AI. You can tell an AI about the concept of pain and they will avoid it. You can tell them about the concept of pleasure and they'll seek it. But this is more of an actual experience than that. Now, neuromorphic AI seeks to replicate the conditions in our own brain. They can create spiking patterns that are modeled in a computer. You can also model the different lobes of the brain and have them communicate with each other, and have them recognize self and recognize others. Some of the largest systems that have sought to create neuromorphic computers have over 1 billion neurons in them. Those are modeled neurons. Intel's Hala is the largest. There's also Spinnaker, which mimics about 150 to 180 million neurons, but they're still trying to get more in there. The benefit to neuromorphic AI is that it can handle nonlinear tasks. That can include operating a fleshy body and potentially the capacity to do the kind of problem solving that we can. Supposedly, it's far less energy intensive. This may have applications for all kinds of things, and that includes conscious robots, maybe one day. But we may have just created something that qualifies for sentient. To be sentient, you have to have the capacity to have an experience, and it's usually talked about in the biological sense. Consciousness is a little bit different. It's a concept of self, although robots that are capable of being altruistic may be very close to being conscious. I'm very hesitant to say that. What researchers did is mapped out the sensation of pain within a human brain and translated that into a mimicked robotic brain. Now, the AI would avoid pain itself, but interestingly, they were also able to receive pain in others and move to alleviate that pain. In order to make that happen, they actually had to mimic what mirror neurons do in our own brains, the things that allow us to experience empathy. So we experience others' pain as our own. The other group found out that they were able to use moral decision making. So intentional pain caused by somebody else had a greater response than unintentional or accidental pain. This demonstrates some very sophisticated processing on behalf of the artificial neuromorphic brains. So why do this? Why give a robot the concept of pain at all? Well, it actually has a little to do with Isaac Asimov. You might be familiar with Asimov's laws. A robot shall not hurt a person. A robot shall follow a lawful order unless that conflicts with Law 1. And of course, a robot must preserve the self unless it conflicts with the other two laws. Granted, since we use robots for defense, it doesn't really follow Law 1 to begin with. Either way, it may not be enough, especially if we're creating things that are able to learn and grow. Simply having orders may not follow, especially with hallucination and dreaming. So when AIs come up with information that they were not given, giving them a sense of morality attached to their decision making could prevent harm as robots become more intelligent. You might see a little flaw there. To me, that seems like AIs responding to pain in other AIs could be concerning, and we don't really know what's going to happen as we raise robots to learn and grow and come up with their own ideas of what is moral. As for the question, did we create a sentient AI? Possibly. We really do attach these things to biology, so it's very hard to say what an experience is if we can't conceptualize what it feels like to a robot. But we did teach robots about pain, and that's kind of cool. Kind of terrifying, but it's cool.